Welcome back to another video on Gearsaw Studios, and today I'm going to show you how to build an ice skating rink for the 6th day of Gearsaw, where I upload daily videos for the first 12 days of December. So, remember, please like and subscribe, and without further ado, on to the tutorial. And we have our palette right here. It's quite basic. We're going to be using packed ice for the actual skating part. And then for the building, we're going to be using spruce, dark oak planks, then both variants of dark oak logs, and birch planks. So, pretty simple palette for the building, and just to add to the festivities, some red and white concrete to make some candy canes. Then, get a relatively flat area. This is a bit of an over-exaggeration of how much area you need, but still, the more the better. And you want to have a nice large blob of packed ice with no terrain elevation variance. So this is a start to it, albeit it should be a bit more round, so roughly where my cursor is tracing should be the size of it. Even that is a little bit too big, but you get the idea. We have a nice icy blob here, and our next step is adding some sort of cobblestone mossy cobble outline, kind of like this. So, in essence, we want something to keep just random people not going into this, because this is supposed to be an establishment with like hot cocoa stands and lockers and such. So, of course, adding some rocks will remedy that. It doesn't have to be perfect, and in fact, it should be imperfect. And it's okay if you leave a little bit of snow on the inside, but make sure no ice is on the outside, because otherwise, that wouldn't make much sense because rocks are quite heavy. So, a completed model of this should have a lot of stairs and slabs on top of it, with some mossy cobble inside. So, a completed version of this would be something like this. So, waiting for chunks to load, and yeah, we have a nice little pumpkin patch here. And you can see what I did with the rocks. You can see slabs, just full blocks, stairs, and you can also tell that I put a lot of mossy on it. Albeit mossy might not be the best if it's a wintry build, still I'd recommend adding it because normal stone can get boring after a while. So, I understand this part might be very confusing for all of you, mainly because it kind of is. So, once you have your basic outline of what you have going on, you should add more cobblestone blocks surrounding it. So, more just bulkiness. I'd recommend doing the mossy parts first, and then it'll start looking like an actual wall. Some parts can be made taller or shorter using slabs, so that way you don't have to make any excessively tall rocks. But just coat them with an extra layer of rocks, so that way it just looks a little bit more complete, and then it'll be much less overwhelming to add the slabs and stairs, which they can go onto the ice. What I really meant by the last thing about don't place them on ice is we should not be seeing ice on both sides. With our new rocks, we just got a much more finished looking product, albeit we need to add some slabs. And don't try to copy me. What you want to do is just place them semi-randomly, but don't just make a random tower of slabs like this. Like, that's not going to work out. But making some parts taller than others does. So, add some variance in your build, and, it just looks better the more you add, but don't go too extreme. So, just try to strike a balance where everything's roughly the same height, and there's still some normal blocks in there, but it's not too extreme, so that, there's nothing there. Albeit that's a little confusing how I worded it. Still, all you need to do is just randomly place stairs and slabs, and you'll be good. We have our rocks finished. It's a bit complicated to understand how you build rocks, but if you just try, I'm sure that you can come up with something that works. Because, to be honest, this is kind of just winging it. I placed blocks, I placed more blocks on top of it, and I put some more stairs and slabs on top of that, with no real defined pattern. Some parts are a bit flat, and others are, a bit more rocky. So, Of course, you can always go back if you're getting frustrated, because it definitely is a tough part. So, I also recommend placing lanterns across the area, just to give it some lighting. And also, a big rock in the middle. If you don't want to do that last part, maybe because some of you might just not want to build rocks anymore, that's completely fine. But, one thing, the snow on the edges should be just full blocks, because that snow can melt due to lighting. And, yeah, it just looks a little bit better because it won't just have random grass on it. Otherwise, this area is looking pretty good, and you should start placing down some dark oak stripped walls, well, blocks, in order to establish just an area. So, just place this down, and make some just basic wall designs. Well, I've started this building, and the design we're going to be using includes some sideways stripped logs, and next to the door we replaced them with their wood version, so that way we don't have any weird side textures like this. And we want to have the floor be birch. Quite simple. The walls will be spruce, they'll have window slots, and you don't need windows everywhere, but it's good to have some windows from time to time. And, of course, I have an even amount of blocks here, which is usually very bad. But we can just simply not have windows on this side, and solve the problem in its entirety, just like this. Also, on corners like these, include dark oak logs. It's quite a simple design in here, and it serves its purpose well. However, this place is going to be a ticket booth, which means we need to leave this door open, well, wall. Then fill everything in, and then we can start working on a roof. For this little area right here, we also want to have a small concession stand for hot cocoa, which is pretty easy. Get some fences, then get some red and green wool. So, and don't forget their carpet variants. So, it's a little confusing. Fortunately, there's an inventory rework coming up at the time of recording in 1.19.3, which a lot of you should have access when you are watching to. So, we place down 2 fences, and then we place a carpet on each one, alternating. Place 2 pieces of carpet backwards, and then we place 2 more fences back here. Turn those into carpets again, and we just have lines going through. And in order to place some carpets here, we can get some string. Albeit, you won't be able to place anything here anymore, so I'd actually increase the height. We have a cute little hot cocoa stand, and it's $3 per cup, $2 for a refill, and, well, it's just a little stand. Nothing to really say about it. For this building right here, I've finished the interior with a little file cabinet. That's actually just a loom, a little ticket printer, and a window. So, this whole place is looking pretty good. And now what we want to do is build a small roof on it. Just a tiny roof, nothing too complicated. Add a little bit of accent on the other underside, so that way it's not so bland. And what we want to do is have an L-shaped roof. So, kind of like this. And it'll curve around, and then it'll end on the other side where we have the window. Then we'll go up and add some more spruce before ending off with yet some more dark oak. So, of course, accent like this. Perhaps even some spruce bushes down here. And above it, place your spruce. And I'm pretty sure I'm mixing up my words here, but that's aside from the point. We go up and we meet in the middle with dark oak yet again. And this dark oak should be a slab like this. Go around like that, and we got a nice little roof that can be easily constructed. Our roof is now complete, and it's really cute. It's just a little stocky house, and albeit it's not really meant for living in, still, it looks really nice with the tiny bushes, the torches. So, basically what you want to do next is just build a copy of it, except instead of it being shaped like an L, or whatever design you had, you want it to be completely straight. So, essentially, we want to have a barrel wall in there to act as lockers. Or you could just have looms, which look a bit more like lockers. But just build a normal version of this, no unique shaping. We have a second building for lockers, and I also labeled the buildings. This is the locker room, of course. And the tickets and skates are 45 US dollars. So, we're looking pretty nice in here. So, the only thing left to do, well, things, are to add tables in case people just want to enjoy the hot cocoa, and some candy canes to hang lanterns off of. And the candy canes are pretty simple. You can even make some of them have lime instead of red. And what we do here is we stack 4 to 5 or even 3 up. Then we curve them over there. And then we can hang a lantern from this. Alternate the modal, and now we have a pretty simple design. Then some tables and chairs, which are quite easy. There's 2 main designs. You can either go with this design, where we have the 2 stairs and slabs going across, or we can go with the alternative design. So, the alternative design, just using this as a placeholder block, is where you just surround a singular block, or 3 blocks or so, with stairs. Replace middle block, preferably with a full block, but stairs are okay yet again. And now you have another table. So, both designs work good, and just make this area have some chairs and tables. Possibly even replace the ground a little, with some sort of planks or calcite. My little area where I can have cocoa is now finished, and our place is completely done. I'm currently using Spider's Vibrant Shaders on High Edition, and, well, we can see this place is really nice. All the warm lighting, and just, yeah, not much to say about it. I added a path here, but it's just a nice place if you ever want to run around on ice in style. Not necessarily like running on ice is entertaining past the 15-second mark, unless you're in real life, but still, it's definitely a nice little attraction you can put into some sort of town, especially if it's a winter town. And with that, it's the end of today's video. If you enjoyed this video, remember, please like and subscribe, it really helps me out. So, take care, enjoy your new place where you can run on top of packed ice. Gearsaw out.